10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You know, many legends have come out of the Old West. Some true, some false, and some just plain cockamamie. Like the famous tale of a stagecoach that was burned to the ground by Apaches. And the only survivor was a tiny infant and his little teddy bear. Now, many times Indians have found little babies and brought them up as their own. And then there are stories of wolves finding a child and raising it in the wolf pack. But nobody wanted this baby. Nobody loved him. So this little baby grew up loving nobody. And he became the meanest man in the whole West. Evil Roy Slade.
Evil Roy Slade would howl at the darkness, scare it so bad he'd cause day to break. Then evil Roy Slade would scramble a rattler, have him for breakfast, and spit out the shade.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome belatedly. Sorry, we had some software issues here. Belatedly to another edition of our semi-regular show, the Cult Comedy Crew, where we celebrate the classic comedy of the past, good, bad, or indifferent. Usually good, I hope. But today we are celebrating the history of an evil man, a man so depraved on account of being deprived that he had to change his own diapers as a child. Yes, we're talking about 1972 TV movie Evil Roy Slade, the brainchild of Gary Marshall and Jerry Belson, and starring the great John Astin. And this Western comedy spoof was at the confluence, there's a big word for you, the confluence of the late 1960s and early 1970s comedy, with its roots in things like The Lucy Show, The Dick Van Dyke Show, Rowan and Martin's Laughing, and many, many others. It may have been a PG, but it's still got some good and funny gags in, and even a few things that would be regarded as very toxic today. And it got some real popes at Western tropes. So, yes, it isn't Blazing Saddles, but that was an R. So that's why you're going to get
It's still got some stuff. Dude, the blacksmith joke fucking killed me.
That
was crazy. Yeah.
The blacksmith joke, I hear you say.
Yeah, you don't remember
that? It'd be
that?
great if somebody had a clip of that one.
I'm telling you, man.
And I do have a clip of that one. If I can read my own writing. Well, here we go.
Boss, some of the horses lost their shoes in that getaway.
Well, get the blacksmith. Smith?
Yeah, I know. Get the horses.
Yeah, that's Blazing Saddle shit right there.
Yeah, they did.
That's as close as they got.
Yeah, they did what they could within the limits of national broadcast television. I think it was NBC Universal, But there's actually a really good team behind this. Like all the things we generally cover, we take a good look at who was making it and who was behind the scenes, and there's some real talent here. And I thought it was emblematic of the time it was made, 72, and some of the comedy that was around at that time. Kind of all the old guys were still around, but there was a little bit of new wave stuff starting to come in, especially with the Rowan and Martin stuff or whatever. So we'll be taking a look at that. But welcome. We haven't done support your local sheriff yet, but we are going to mention it.
Yeah,
Vince. So welcome to everybody that's joined me on the panel today. And I'm glad there's at least two guys old enough like me to remember some of these people, although I don't remember. I never saw this when it first came out in 72. It wasn't probably shown in the UK. I think I saw it in the 80s on VHS. But at least some guys I might have a little bit of a background in some of that era, and also some youngsters who can just give us their idea on how, on the cheeseometer, how cheesy this movie is. So first of all, we'll talk to the youngsters. Imperatus, how are you, my friend?
I am not so young as to be at the point where I wouldn't know who some of these people were. You are aware of this, right?
Well, I know you're somewhere in between me and Joe and Rich.
everybody's a youngster to him.
That's right.
Well, I suppose I should take it for what it's worth.
There you go.
That's what she said. But welcome to you, my friend, and I hope you'll have some insights to this, particularly the death metal soundtrack.
Oh yeah, because that was so popular in '72.
With songs like Stubby Index Finger, and other such songs. So it's good to see you here, mate. Also, Pope Metallicus, I thought you were on a beach.
No, that was Christian.
Oh, it was Christian. Oh, but you were meeting him though. Those are great pictures. My wife was saying, which one of them's got the big belly and which one's got the beard?
Well, it depends on the week, really.
Well, she didn't say both of them had the big belly. So welcome, my friend. Good to see you here. Also, Joe, my good friend, how are you, sir?
Doing fantastic, man.
Good. No more fallout from the hurricanes and all that stuff.
No. Let's just hope they get the power back on to all the people in Houston. It's below 300,000 now. So, but my baby is getting up at 6 and doesn't get off till 8. Still, she's in there right next door doing it right now. She has been nonstop since Monday. So,
good. Well, yeah. hope she gets to. Everyone gets reconnected and she gets to get a break.
For sure.
Thanks for being here, my friend. Mm-hmm. We're also joined by our great friend and a fellow connoisseur of obscure old shit, just another red shirt.
Hello, 70s. Oh yeah, this is back to an earlier time, and the I mean, if you've ever heard of some of the sitcoms of the 70s, kind of the last gasp of this type of humor, that would be things like Happy Days, The Odd Couple, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy.
All of which are connected to the makers of this show. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gary Marshall created all of those shows. And The Odd Couple really is what put him on the map. So
indeed.
So this sort of slightly corny, but every once in a while, like the blacksmith joke, the zinger gets in there, and it's like the old Warner Brothers cartoons. What can we get past the censors?
Yeah, it was a real skill to try and just slip those things under the radar. Yes. Something that's really meant to be a broad comedy, as comedy was at that time. So we'll be looking at a few of those wonderful one-liners, especially in this movie.
Yeah, but this movie is a who's who of 60s and 70s actors and comic actors.
Oh, no doubt, man, no doubt.
Even further back.
I think
even
that,
further back.
I think Penny has a cameo. Didn't she in
Penny
the bank?
Marshall is the bank teller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's bank teller.
Yeah.
If you've never seen the movie, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. That was literally everybody who'd ever been funny on stage, screen, or film in Hollywood brought together to make a movie that is not much more doesn't have much more of a point than this one does. And the humor, I mean, while Dick Shawn was in that.
There's at least 4 or 5 people in this that were in Mad
Were
World.
in that, yes.
Yeah.
So
at least
that's
4 or 5.
This is like a continuation of that sort of humor. It follows directly. It's not, you know, I like Blazing Saddles because there's an edge to the humor and there's a point to the humor. This movie, the point of this movie is to be funny for the sake of being funny.
Yeah, it's a love story where both partners have to change.
Right.
One has to try and get nice, and the other one has to try and become an outlaw. As evil Roy Slade says to Betsy, when she says, "Well, I like to be nice," he says, "Well, you know, people can change." I think I've got that clip too. But, before we go any deeper into that, though, and that's great points you were making, Redshirt, we're going to talk about all that stuff, because before we get to any slides and stuff, we like to talk about who was in the movie and the whole atmosphere around it. Our great friend Christian DeLorme from the beach, from Myrtle Beach, far away in time, in South Carolina, sends $5 from the beach. Well played to be able to do that. Scottish whiskey top up. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I'll have to find a suitable clip for you to play for you. And this is my comedy profile, cult comedy profile. So I got to find something. There has been no Judas Priest here, unfortunately. How about this one?
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
Greatest movies ever made. Kentucky
You're on the beach,
movie.
Yeah.
I would like to say hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for being here. We are obviously over on Rumble too and on Twitter, but looking down and I know Vince and Joe, you're hanging out valiantly in the chat on Rumble as well. So let's take a rundown, say hello. The great Lord Thoth is here. Obviously, Lord Thoth being fellow Canadian. He will appreciate this one.
Oh, good God.
Hey, over here for donuts. Don't listen to him, eh? He's a hoser.
So good to see you. The great D-Bud Martin, Wrench of Wrenches, and the huge supporter of me in this channel. You ain't one of those funny boys, are you? That's a repeated gag. Toxic humor today.
That's it.
Yeah. Redshirt has quoted something which we will be playing the clip of later.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Tim is here. The sheriff is near. Oh, wait, wrong film. Yeah.
Yeah, wrong one. Wrong one.
Who else has joined us? Christian, we've obviously mentioned, said hello to Penny is here. Courtney will be joining us later. I hope there may be a couple of other people pop in. I'm hoping. So Penny is here, the great Penny. Vince is here. Good to see you. Scroll harder.
Yes.
Dark Secrets of the, and let me get this right. This is a new name, Dark Secrets of the Past Parahistory is watching today. Welcome to the channel. So I too am a lover of Dark Secrets of the Parahistory, if we're talking about the same kind of stuff, Y-Files type stuff. So that's my cup of tea. So good to see you, my friend. Hope you enjoy the show. Is this Paleface or son of Paleface? Well, again, there's a lot of comedy westerns. We may just touch on a few of them. And there'll be a lot of one-liners and quotes I'm expecting in the chat today. If I miss anybody, forgive me. But obviously, as always, please do me a favor, click the like button, share the stream out, force people to watch it. Absolutely. It should be mandatory to watch these fun streams that we do. So let's get into it. So we are today talking about the 1972 made-for-television Western comedy, a made-for-TV movie. Remember those? Released February the 18th, 1972. Wow. And it's kind of a double category because it's a made-for-TV movie and it's a comedy Western. So it kind of covered two bases there. Based on characters created in a 1969 pilot for an unproduced series called Sheriff Who. Because every week, and the idea behind that show was that every week there would be a new sheriff played by a guest star who would be killed by evil Roy Slade. which I think is an awesome concept. It's so good. You can imagine the guest stars that we had as well. But the movie is created by Gary Marshall, Jerry Belson, who were inspired to do a comedic take on the Western genre. And they wanted to create a parody that played off the typical tropes and cliches. And I love it. The character of evil Roy Slade, he's kind of bumbling, but yet somehow effective outlaw. I think as he said something at one point, like he's the third most popular one next to Billy the Kid and somebody else. He's the third most popular. And allowed them to explore the genre in a humorous and irreverent way. But I mean, it was a made-for-TV movie. There's no Nielsen stats about how well it did at the time. But over the years, like all of these things, it's kind of found a devoted audience through reruns, like midnight movie screenings, video release. It's got slapstick. It's got witty dialogue. It's got a little bit of subversion and some great performances. So, and shot in many of the same locations as the westerns it spoofs. So, we did, as I say, Western comedies, of which this is one. There's been hundreds. I just want to talk about the few that I particularly love over the years. Laurel and Hardy. Who remembers Laurel and Hardy?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Way out west.
Funny dudes.
Way out west. I think 1937, maybe. Not entirely sure, but Stan Laurel, Englishman, of course.
Yes.
Yes, Englishman. So that's a really good example of an early Western comedy. But obviously, counterparts of theirs, Abbott and Costello did Ride 'Em Cowboy.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, also the name of a John Wayne movie. So, Way Out West, Blazing Saddles, obviously the creme de la creme.
The pinnacle, the measuring stick.
No
doubt.
Had a huge advantage because it was R-rated.
Yeah.
And made a couple of years later, so got more modern.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years later, and it had Richard Pryor writing it, along with Mel Brooks. And that actually is an interesting contrast, because the kind of humor I was talking about, like you were saying, the Lucy Show and other comedies of that era, they did have to. They weren't just whether that was PG. I mean, you couldn't get away with anything more than PG anyway on network television at the time. But beyond that, jokes could be censored. They could say, no, we're not using that joke. And one of the advantages that Blazing Saddles has is not just that it's R, it's actually, I would say its bigger advantage, it was in theaters, not on television.
Exactly. Right. It had a lot of advantages. Vince Womack has seen Ride 'Em Cowgirl, but that was a completely different kind of movie.
Yes. Like Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah.
Right. That's a little different.
We can't really talk about these in detail, but another prime example would be Cat Ballou with a bonkers Lee Marvin.
That is probably my favorite of the genre. Buddy, if you guys have not seen this movie, and some people that are a little bit younger probably haven't, this is before she was Hannah Jane, and she was a gorgeous young lady. And Lee Marvin steals every scene he's in that movie. And when he accepted his Academy Award for playing the twin brother gunfighters, didn't he say something about the horse deserves half the credit? Oh my God, that movie is off the chain funny.
Lee Marvin is just phenomenal.
And tell him who the musical narrators are of the story. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Yeah, man. It's oh God, I figured you'd know.
Someone in the chat will tell. Well, I should remember, but
yeah,
I remember watching it as a kid and thinking, "What the hell was that I just watched?" I couldn't figure out what it was. Is that Western?
It's an awesome movie.
Somebody, Nat King Cole says somebody.
Yeah. Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
They're narrating the movie.
I think about it. That's right. So a long time since I watched it. Three Amigos is obviously another great example.
Oh yeah.
Of how to do a comedy Western with a more Mexican twist.
The movie where everybody figured out what plethora meant.
Yeah.
Right?
And then support plethora. I think I've got that.
Plethora.
I may have that clip. Takes me a while to get there. Here it is.
Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas? A what? A plethora.
Yes, Heavy. You have a plethora.
Support your local sheriff. James Garner was always doing light-hearted Western things. I mean,
yeah.
Maverick, and so another great example, and possibly even a good example from more recent times. A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Million Ways to Die in the West.
It's $1.
Mia Kunis, Mia Kunis, Mia Kunis.
My goodness, yeah. So a long tradition of them. Evil Roy Slade, I think, fits in very nicely into that category.
Mm-hmm.
But also, as I said, it's a made-for-TV movie, and there've been hundreds of these made over the years, generally of a Hallmark level, I would say, but not always.
Yeah.
There have been a few outstanding examples. And this isn't obviously the subject of the show, but I wanted to just cover a few. I mean, that you can make made-for-TV movies that actually have an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Duel.
absolutely.
Duel
That
was
got a
made-for-TV
theatrical release
in the
after
end.
it came out on television. It was
Yes.
that good.
Yep.
And do you know who directed it?
Yes, a certain very young Steven Spielberg.
It was his first film, as far as I know.
Yeah, written by Richard Matheson, of course. So.
Yes.
So TV movie, huge lasting impact to this day. Another one was Kurt Russell and John Carpenter's Elvis.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Made for TV movie.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly the best Elvis.
Yeah.
Interpretation.
I put that. I think it's the best one that they've done.
Yeah. The Day After, which many people will remember of a certain age.
Yes.
The nuclear Armageddon one, directed by Nicholas Meyer.
That movie scared a lot of people when it came out.
100 million viewers.
Yep.
And another one, I didn't want to go through hundreds of them. Another one, these are just the ones that sprung to my mind as being influential. The original Night Stalker, what was a TV movie, then turned into.
Right.
There's one TV movie. Well, I have Duel, but I also have A Christmas Carol starring Patrick Stewart.
Oh, that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is made as it. Now, Stewart had just done his one-man show as Ebenezer Scrooge, and then did this television movie. And I got to say, it's probably my favorite version, with one anachronistic line that Stewart delivers. But other than that, I think it's my favorite version of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
Stewart does a fantastic job as Scrooge. He knew that part.
If you doesn't kiss a guy like in Life Force, it's just not worth it. But yeah, TV movies, a lot of them have been extremely good, made by extremely talented people. And that's just a few examples, but there are many, many more. And Evil Roy Slade was a TV movie.
Yeah.
As I said, no Nielsen ratings on it, so we don't know just how popular or not it became. But it did pretty well on VHS and DVD later. So I think a staple of reruns as well, So, getting right in. I love this T-shirt, by the way. I want that T-shirt.
Yep.
Except it's a misprint. It says awful. He doesn't say that. He says arrogant.
Arrogant. Yeah,
Arrogant.
it's not awful. It's arrogant.
I do like the T-shirt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The rear cover showing some of the people who are involved. We're just going to touch on a few of those before we get into some slides and talk about the actual movie plot. Yeah, and Vince is mentioning the Bud Spencer and Terence Hill stuff, the spaghetti westerns that they made. Ton of humor in those. I wouldn't say they were necessarily all totally humorous, but they did have a lot of comedy in them, or a lot of.
What's the one where the guy keeps pulling the guy's gun and slapping him? The guy pulls his gun, he takes it away from him and slaps the shit out of him. What was that series of movies? Because they made a couple of them. You guys know what I'm talking about, don't you? You've seen this thing? No, you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Someone in the chat will tell us.
It's hilarious.
Then it'll come back to me.
Yeah, it's a foreign movie, I think. I don't think it's American.
It might be Italian. Yeah,
it's hilarious, man. That guy's.
There's so many of those Italian movies. They're all great, and I always get them mixed up.
I'm gonna have to
the Django's,
do some research real quick and
the
find
Bud Spencers, as they were mentioned. So the prime mover behind this, Gary Marshall, sorry. He's not got an E in his name, so it can't be Jerry. Producer, writer, king of TV comedy at that time, I would say. Came out of the Lucy Show, the Dick Van Dyke Show, The Odd Couple, as Red Shirt mentioned, the TV version, and then Happy Days. So absolutely an absolute giant in the comedy world, and he was the prime mover behind this particular property. So it's that kind of track record and lineage that's making it. Just, there's a long-running debate about which is better, the movie of The Odd Couple or the TV show.
Oh, I can answer that.
I like the movie. I like the movie
because I agree with Neil Simon. Their roles should have been reversed, which Simon required that of the movie, and Walter Matthau thought he was going to be playing the Oscar, the slob, and Simon said, "If you don't play Felix, you're not in the movie." And playing them against type I thought was hysterical.
I mean, I've got nothing against the TV show because it was good.
I don't either.
Popular.
But, I don't either. I mean, it does work, but the first time I saw the movie based on the play, I was blown away because, wait a minute, I can't keep track of who's who now because they reversed them, and it does work.
And then obviously Happy Days. So Gary Marshall, I mean, he was hugely influential. As we said, his wife Penny is in the movie as a bank teller. Of course, she went on to be super famous as a director later too. So, I mean, these were whoever the kings of TV comedy are now. That's who it was then. It was Gary Marshall.
Actually, I think Penny is his sister.
Is his sister? I thought it was his wife.
Yes, sibling.
Well, it's Hollywood, so.
Yeah, well, you know.
So Pretty Woman, of course, he went on to do like the Princess Diaries and stuff like that. But the director of this is a guy called Jerry Paris, who was also an actor, and you can see him in the Dick Van Dyke Show. So it's as usual. These guys all knew each other and were friends. So hey, let's go make this thing together. You know
what? One series you guys haven't brought up yet. I'm kind of surprised because it's in the same vein as things like Evil Roy Slade. Is F Troop.
Yeah, well, that deserves its own show, mate, I think.
True, but I'm surprised nobody on the production was part of this because it's a very similar type of thing.
It's not to say they weren't. I mean, I didn't examine every credit on these guys because I'm just trying to hit the high points, But F Troop, good point. Even looking it up now.
It was Terrence Hill I was talking about.
Terrence Hill and Trinity.
Yeah. It's either They Call Me Trinity or My Name Is Nobody that I saw that in. Oh my God, it was hilarious.
So F Troop would be in the right frame of time for the same things like Lucy and Dick Van Dyke. It looks like it had a very different production team though.
Huh.
But it's the same era of comedy and the same style of comedy.
Same attitude too, like where it takes more of a slapstick, more just kind of goofy look at Old West.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And so Jerry Paris was an actor, but also directed a lot of Happy Days, almost all of those episodes. Laverne and Shirley, Mary Tyler Moore Show, which is hugely popular when I was a kid. Showed that in the UK. He went on to direct Police Academy 2 and 3 as well. But he was more of a TV guy.
Mary Tyler Moore was a funny show. I do remember that one. Yeah.
Very good show, yeah.
Ted Knight is the most underrated actor of all time, if you ask me. That dude's comic timing is ridiculous.
Johnson's everywhere. Once upon a time. Johnson's as far as the eye could see.
And wasn't it a lovely sight?
So Jerry Belson here with Sally Field in a movie I probably saw called Surrender, but I don't remember it. Looks a bit more arty. But also Jerry Belson, Gary Marshall's longtime collaborator, they co-wrote I Spy, for instance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another popular show, which I only saw years later. I didn't see it at the time. I was too young, and it wasn't on in the UK. At least I wasn't aware of it. Influential show, though.
Mm-hmm.
Very influential show. He actually was a writer, director, a long time collaborated with Gary Marshall and did things like the Dick Van Dyke Show and The Odd Couple as a writer, but also wrote the Tracy Ullman Show later, which of course Simpsons first appeared on. English comedian Tracy Ullman, who had a number of hit singles in the UK too.
Yeah.
He was involved with some other stuff like Smokey and the Bandit 2. But then we come to, so that was the kind of production team behind it, the writers group. So it's a lot of several years of experience in those shows, popular shows. So they knew how to distill that down into a 90-minute TV movie. However, John Astin got the cast as in the starring role. And I like his performance a lot as
It
Roy.
was a trip for me to see Gomez Adams playing the bad guy.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And he wants to remain the bad guy, which is one of the things. He's like, I can't handle this being good shit. And a lot of it's in his facial expressions.
Oh my God. When he's macking on the older lady in the shoe store and he walks away and he just looks like he's defeated and he sold all his shoes and the boss he like, wrap this up. I got to go wash my mouth out. It was hilarious,
soul
man.
Destroying for him. His soul is being destroyed.
I'm telling you, it's just killing him.
And it takes great comic timing and skill to do that physical humor.
Yep.
There's not a lot of there's the times where he isn't saying a lot, but he's doing a lot of. But anyway, the great John Astin, who is still with us at the age of 94.
Wow!
Oh wow!
I thought he died years ago. Sorry, John. He's still with us at 94, unless I missed something. I don't know. So well played, John. Always seems like a nice guy. There he is in his. Basically, his most famous role, I guess, is Gomez Adams.
Gomez, man, that's him.
That's certainly the way I'd recognize him because I saw it. That was all on reruns when I was a kid.
Raul Julia did a good job channeling him, but this is Gomez.
And this is what I remember as a kid.
Yes, this is Gomez.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I thought Raul Julia did a fantastic job.
He did.
He did. On the big screen.
Shall we have a little reminder?
He's always developing outside interests.
Right now, I have the most enviable collection of coroner's reports in the neighborhood. I took his pulse just before you got here.
And?
Well, either my watch has stopped or he's been dead for 20 minutes.
That kind of delivery is just so good.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's the last surviving member, as D-Bud says, of the cast. Being credited for making Smoking the Bandit 2 is not a badge of honor.
No, it's not. The lady gonna have a baby.
Vince coming in with a hot take. I like it. I like it. But John Astin, beloved actor, started out in an early role, West Side Story, as a social worker who may or may not have danced. It's so long since I've seen that movie. I do have a special edition of it. I don't think I've ever watched it. My wife wanted.
I've never seen the original one or the new one. I've never seen any of them. I've seen clips of the dancing fight scenes in it, but that's about it.
Rita Moreno, a spicy little number, as Billy Crystal used to say.
The original one is good, very good.
Yeah,
well, it's a classic by all accounts. I just have never taken the time to watch it. Yeah,
but I mean, he did.
It's worth finding.
It's pretty good, actually. It's very colorful. It's in that kind of Technicolor style that just looks 50s, but looks good.
It's a stage musical put on the screen. I mean,
lots of sexy, spicy little girls and guys, if you're into that. So, but it was also in a lot of TV comedies and movies, as Freaky Friday, National Lampoon's European Vacation, where he played the wonderfully named Kent Winkdale. I just love that name.
What a name!
And in tribute to our dear departed friend Clobby, who was a huge fan of Briscoe, The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., he was in the cast, key part of the cast for that as Albert Wickwire. So I thought we had to mention that for Clobby's sake. So, he'd been. I mean, Adam's family is, even if he had never done anything else, people would always remember that.
Yep.
So also in the movie, more old school, is Mickey Rooney, playing Nelson S. Stool, Western Express Railroad head honcho. He wears the black glove to hide his stunted index finger, worn out by tapping so many telegraph messages.
Now
to
that
make
was
his
the
fortune.
beat the dead horse joke of the show right
Yes.
there.
Yes.
It was.
The songs, they're singing the song "Stubby Little Fingers." It's famous. They mention it like multiple times. At least I don't have a stubby little finger.
Right. Yeah.
That's Pamela Austin looking good in black there, by the way. But, we'll get
Oh,
to her in a
man.
minute. Get to her in a minute. Mickey Rooney. It's bizarre when
Are
you
you,
look back.
are
at
you
it.
trying to share? Because if you're not sharing, if you are.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's cool.
You're not seeing any of these.
Nothing. There you
Back.
go.
I go
There,
back.
there they
Oh,
are.
there. So I missed.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed all of these. So there was Freaky Friday, European Vacation, Briscoe County. My apologies for not sharing. Where's my producer?
All right.
Mickey Rooney, of course.
Yeah.
And it's hard to remember because none of us, even though I was around, that guy was once the top paid star in Hollywood.
Yeah, he was he sure was.
Started in the silent movie era and worked for 80 plus years as an actor. Incredible.
Yep. And almost got typecast. Yes, with Judy Garland,
Andy Hardy, yes,
as Andy Hardy. And if you've ever seen the Twilight Zone episode, Big.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
I do remember
eerie
that one. Yeah.
Because yes, he was the highest paid star in Hollywood, and as he aged, he couldn't play the boyish characters anymore. And I think his career started to that career.
It was tricky. Yeah. Tricky transition.
There are
Yeah, you are roboting a bit, mate. Sorry.
But he wants to be big. The problem is, as always, when a wish is granted, especially by the character in the mirror, whom we know who that is, you never quite get what you want. You get exactly what you ask for.
Yeah, indeed. And he was a bit of a Lothario, bizarrely, given his short stature. As somebody was saying in the chat, 8 wives and 9 children. Ava frickin' Gardner was his first wife. I mean, Ava Gardner.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high bar to reach,
Wow.
Ava Gardner. Well, literally for him, it was a pretty high bar.
But
Yeah.
in this one, anybody seen the Night at the Museum?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think that in this one, Mickey Rooney began to develop the angry, funny man character that went all the way through that.
He was adaptable because he was a song and dance man that could do everything, really. So,
Yes.
lots of ladies. I mean, Elizabeth Taylor. He acted with a lot of top female stars.
Well, I mean,
Apparently
wasn't that
married.
pretty much your rite of passage into Hollywood was being married to Elizabeth Taylor?
Yeah, well, exactly. And as we mentioned earlier, the film "It's a Mad, 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 Mad World," which is kind of like a summation of a lot of those comedic actors and careers, which had Milton Berle in it, who's in this movie, Dick Shawn, who's in this movie, Mickey Rooney is in it, Edie. Oh God, what's her name? Edie Adams, who plays Flossie. I was thinking Edie, and I couldn't think of Edie Adams plays Flossie. She's in this too.
Yeah.
It's got virtually everybody in it.
I'm seeing some real old school names like Buster Keaton, the Three Stooges.
Yes.
Keaton's great in it because he plays Buster Keaton. As if he was Buster Keaton in the silent movies.
I see Peter Falk's name down there.
Yeah, Carl Reiner.
Did it?
The Three Stooges. It's a homage by Stanley Kramer to old school movie, and it's a lot of fun. If you've never seen this movie, it's a ton of fun. Terry Thomas, British actor who I adore, is in this. He's got the moustache and it's a great movie.
And what's wonderful is they pair him. Didn't they pair him up? They paired him up with Jonathan Winters.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's so
God.
funny.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Spencer Tracy's playing the cool detective in it, but he also is after this cash. Great movie. Check it out. Peter Falk, they're all in it. But a favorite movie of mine, Mickey Rooney is in, if you've never seen it, The Black Stallion.
Yeah.
brilliant movie. Absolutely beautiful movie.
I've always loved that poster.
Yes,
because it's such a simple design, but it looks tough as nails, man. It
It's
really
a
does.
great movie. Beautiful movie. So check that one out if you get the chance. From Zoetrope Studios, produced by Francis Ford Coppola. So Pamela Austin plays sweet schoolmarm Betsy Potter. She calls him Evil Roy throughout the movie. Not Roy. Evil Roy.
Evil Roy.
She never. Hey, Evil Roy. It's like
and when she tells him you should change his name, he keeps looking for new names, but they all start with evil.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Everyone evil. Because I call myself evil, whatever. You never thought of Knievel? That would have been a good one. But,
yes.
She's also still alive and kicking at age 82. And she gave up acting long ago. But I dug up on the interwebs, as you do, a little video of her advertising cars.
Oh boy.
So check this advert.
We know how the chicks are at the car shows. Oh man, look out.
Hang on. I gotta find the right one to share. Is it this one or this one? Let's hope it's this one.
Oh, hi there. Are the high rising costs of big car luxury getting you down? If you don't want to pay that big car toll, join the Dodge Rebellion!
Ready to fall for a new car? This is the new 67 Dodge Polara.
Is that a good car, Richard?
Without sending you overboard on
no, I'm the wrong person.
It says Dodge on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tail light and rear deck.
Interesting rear
of 67.
to it.
I gotta say that they say that Old Spice commercials now are weird. What the hell was that?
383 cubic
Yeah.
inch V8 is the power behind
It's
it.
got a V8 though.
67 Dodge Polara.
Let's put it this way: if you had a V8, you also had a bus. If you had a V6, you also had a bus pass.
Yeah. She did a lot of adverts, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat. I love finding these old adverts. I've got another one coming up. But she was on. I got to show the images again. So she was on season 1 of Rowan and Martin's Laughing as well. Oh, there she is in a very nice signed picture. Nice legs. She also appeared with Elvis in Blue Hawaii. I think that's her on the.
There you go. There you go.
And this is her on Rowan and Martin.
As Lady Godiva.
Lady Godiva, yeah. So she was in that. And Rowan and Martin was a kind of a move towards newer comedy, but still made by older comedy people, if you think of it that way.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
And yes, because Henry Gibson and Milton Berle were also mainstays of that show. So.
Oh my God! Man.
So
the Smothers Brothers were on that all the time.
That's
too.
right. Speaking of Henry Gibson, Clifford Stool, nephew of he plays the nephew of Nelson Stool, the hapless sheriff, which is he plays it as dumb as you could possibly play, which is funny. He was a big mainstay of Rowan and Martin, where he did these weird little poem things, but he also got to do some fun stuff. Again, I haven't even shown anything hardly from Evil Roy Slade, but I love to do this, the background stuff.
Oh yeah,
here he is dancing and singing with Goldie Hawn.
Bump-a-dump-a-dump-dump. Nerd! Folks on the farm really adore it. Bump-a-dump-a-dump-dump. Frog!
People downtown clamoring for it. Bump-a-dump-a-dump-dump.
Goldie, I like the way she bump-a-dumped when she was facing away from them.
Yeah, she had the Twiggy look back then. Yeah,
she did.
Yep.
Yeah. D. Bud Martin says he lived in beautiful downtown Burbank when Laughing started. It's probably a war zone now.
You could do an entire show about Laughing, man. That was something else.
It's on the list, but it's also an important part of the people that were in this.
Mm-hmm.
Gibson went on to be, if you've never seen Robert Altman's Nashville, brilliant movie.
Yeah.
I think he might even gotten an award for that. I'm not sure. He was in The Burbs, amongst other things. I don't know how Pope got into The Burbs, but sorry, mate, I couldn't resist it. Great movie. I love The Burbs. And then obviously, famously,
Yes,
the Blues Brothers.
He is the member of Aryan Nation in the Blues Brothers.
This
Hell
isn't about to
yeah.
go off the bridge in the car. Yes. He will always be a legend just for this alone.
Just for that part alone.
Yep.
No doubt.
So we also got Dom DeLuise.
Now you want to talk about a guy that I could watch him do anything. He's the only redeeming thing in Smokey and the Bandit too.
Yes.
Him playing the doctor.
Yeah, he's the shrink in this, trying to help Roy change his ways. Logan Delp is the name. Obviously, Pizza the Hut in Spaceballs. I just love that Pizza the Hut.
One of
And
the
there
best
he is.
voices in Hollywood.
Captain Chaos and Cannonball Run.
But Blazing Saddles, silent movie, History of the World. He worked with Mel Brooks a ton of stuff, and then he did the.
I'm a
Cannonball
huge Burt Reynolds fan, and Burt loved this guy, and he kept him around him all the time. I mean, even his more serious movies like The End, he was in that one too.
Yes.
You know, love Dom. He's so awesome.
He did so much good stuff.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Captain, the behind the scenes of the Cannonball with the two of them are laughing.
Dude, that during the credits is
Burt Reynolds
almost
The
better than the
outtake.
whole damn movie, man.
It is.
Where he kept slapping him. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
worried he's gonna hit him.
Don't.
Don't do it. So, hugely talented guy. There's a lot of talented people in Evil Roy Slade. It's great.
Yep.
There's also
yeah.
Dick Shawn playing singing Marshall. Bing Bell. Oh, is that the door?
No, it's
No,
his
that's
name.
my name. Yeah.
Based on Gene Autry and Roy Rogers.
I was gonna say, like, these are my favorite character movie just for the Roy Rogers takeoff. It's
Right.
hilarious.
Exactly.
The singing cowboy.
The gun and the guitar is a touch. So Ed Sullivan, Tonight Show veteran, and then a ton of TV, but an outstanding performance in The Producers, Mel Brooks Producers in '67. He won. I mean, he played Lorenzo Saint Dubois, whose friends called him LSD.
Yes.
And he auditions for and gets the part of Hitler in Springtime for Hitler.
Man.
Now,
Too
if no one,
much.
again, if someone has not seen this movie, you
Yeah.
are missing one of the greatest comedies
Greatest things ever.
made.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
When he bursts into Springtime for Hitler and they're all in the theater like this.
Yeah.
And then they go,
Open mouthed in shock.
and he plays this part so well. It's so good. Here he is in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. I don't know who the girl is, but here he is. He was a bit of a kind of hippie beach stoner surfer in this one, I think, if I remember rightly. Great actor. Now, Pat Morita is in this movie.
Yes.
I completely missed this one.
He works for him, right? That's his houseman, isn't it?
Well, let's talk about how toxic this is. He's playing an Indian.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's Asian and he's playing an Indian. Yeah. That's
An Indian
awesome.
called Turhan. I thought that can't be right.
Oh, man.
Now, is that banned today, or could he still get away with that?
No, that would never fly now.
Anyway, the great Pat
That would fly
Morita-
about as far as Christopher Lee being Fu Manchu.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Fu Manchu was Christopher Lee, that would be what it'd be like. So Pat Morita makes an appearance, but also making an appearance is Milton Berle.
Yeah.
Shoe store owner Harry Fern. He gives Roy a job and then asks him to take the cash to the bank.
Oh, big mistake.
And they're going to put a statue up to him for helping Roy. Harry Fern, man with a soul.
In with a soul. That's it. Yes.
Yeah, old school comic. Right, got a boost, motor boost for being in Rowan and Martin. Here he is on the guy with smoking the cigar. He looks like Cheech and Chong. I think they're trying to be Cheech and Chong here. I'm in Dick Martin. So he kind of tried to get up to date a bit. You know, he was trying to get in there. Here he is as the shoe store owner.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other roles. There's a lot of people we'll talk about when we show the stills, but a couple more I wanted to just mention in particular. This guy's name is Larry Hankin, and he played Snake, one of the gang.
Mm-hmm.
He was seen not that long ago. He's still around in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
He's
I was fixing to say he's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's old Joe in Breaking Bad for a couple of episodes, so still working. And so there's an evil Roy Slade Breaking Bad connection, which I find cute. Also worth mentioning, Billy Curtis,
man,
the toy cowboy.
Cowboy
Who plays the little cowboy who has his horse stolen by Roy. And a big guy on a little horse is always going to get a laugh.
Funny.
Yes.
Yeah. You knew that was coming.
That's
That was like easy to spot. But my favorite movie with him in it is High Plains Drifter.
You mean this one?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely, man.
So
he's the mayor and the sheriff and everything. Yeah.
Because
He's
I was
awesome.
watching it, I went, that guy's in High Plains Drifter.
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
But the bit where he's talking about how he's a midget so he can't get decent jobs in the movie is quite funny. It's not the only midget scene though.
No,
there's at least one more midget scene. I think it's this.
They even got midgets.
Aim for their little hearts.
Aim for their little hearts.
He had him cornered there, didn't they?
Yeah. Is this a lawman's convention? Is it all right? Just a quick mention about one of the music guys in it is he does some of the music. Fred Steiner did a lot of the score. He worked on Star Trek, Twilight Zone. But this is Stuart Margolin, actor, big friend of James Garner, and got an Emmy for the Rockford Files for his supporting role in that. He wrote some of the songs in this movie. Because he was a writer as well, and he worked for Gary Lewis and Playboys and a bunch of other bands writing songs. So, bit of a Renaissance man, so to speak.
There you go.
The narrator was Pat Bertram. He does the narration, and he was actually a sidekick to Roy Rogers and Gene Autry in movies, which is ironic given the
he
big
delivers
development.
one of the greatest lines in Back to the Future 3. You'll never forget it when he says, everybody everywhere is going to say that Clint Eastwood is the biggest yellow belly in the West.
That's right, when he calls himself Clint Eastwood. So he actually lived in the movies for the role that's being spoofed.
Right? Damn.
Yeah.
I think it was in Green
Yeah, he
Acres.
had one of the most distinctive voices.
Yeah.
Well, he did all the I think he did a lot of Disney.
Yes,
animation.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He did a lot of Disney animation. I just wanted to call out a couple of. No, I'll leave those to the end. I think what I'd like to do, so there are other actors and actresses, but we'll cover them when we get into the slides. Let's exit the full screen. Let's hide that. So there we go. That's kind of a run through who's involved. And now we're going to go through some of the slides, and I got other clips, and we'll try and capture some of those funny moments. So let's get into it. Hope you're all still enjoying things out in the chat. A small but very
dedicated
crew. Courtney, if you're trying to sign in, I sent a new link out in the DM group. So look for the second link because the first one's not working anymore. Excuse me. So, let's get going. Do it.
Do it now.
Do it now. So, opens with, we saw that in the opening thing. I couldn't really find a trailer.
As soon as I saw this at the beginning of it, I laughed my ass off. Circling the wagons and everything.
Talk about a cliche, but
yes.
Evil Roy Slade is so evil even as a baby that the Indians don't want to rescue him.
The Indians that raise him? No, not this guy.
And
Wolves raise him? No, not this guy.
We're gone. So he has to raise himself, basically, which is how he does that. We don't know.
He pinned his own diapers. That's how he did it.
He
Come on,
did.
man.
Yeah. And I do love this opening sequence, which I wish I'd cut, where he walks through the town, makes the disabled guy dance.
Yes.
Rips the blouse of a woman or
A
something.
shawl off of the woman and puts it down for
and
himself. Yeah.
Slaps the kid.
Yep.
Knocks the woman off the horse. Yeah.
It's
too much, man.
You know what you're going to get when you get that. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Havoc. That's a great name for a town. Havoc. So we get introduced to the baddie, the little baddie, Nelson L. Stool, not the big baddie. The honcho of Western Express. and his black glove. The glove. I don't quite know what the dog tells him to do, but he does berate it later for giving him bad advice.
Yeah.
And his hapless nephew, Clifford Stool. I can't remember, was this Roy sent him this? Because Roy Slade's on a campaign against
destroy this guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's stolen $1 million out of his... There's a great line later. He says, he stole $1 million and he shot 100 of my men. You've no idea how depressing the company picnics are because of that. Have you ever seen 30 widows trying to do the sack race? It's real. And he stole the train whistle. That's right. He steals the train whistle.
Yep.
But 30 widows in a sack race.
Oh my
And
God.
you can tell there's an obvious influence here between, his character and then Hedley Lamar in Blazing Saddles. Like, they're basically the same guy.
That's right. Yeah, they are. There's a definite connection there. I think it's.
He's like a combo of Hedley Lamar and the mayor.
Yeah.
Or the governor, sorry.
He tastes like Dustin.
His MO seems to be the others rob the place and he kisses the girls and he kisses the one and he's got the thing with she tastes like prairie dust. Well, that's because you've got your necktie up.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah. So I do have this little clip here.
Now you continue your robbing while I continue my kissing.
Still made her day though.
Yeah, right.
To put the necktie back. Oh, good. I gotta make sure I close the right window here. That one, I think. No, it's not that one. God damn it!
You'll get there one day, sir.
Good God Almighty! Share.
I feel your pain. I have to produce my own shows too.
And,
pain in the ass.
If only I could get someone to do this for free.
It's hard to do, bro.
It's a great price, free. You won't get much better than that.
Well, you won't get
backstage
much better than
for all the shows.
Yeah. So anyway, he meets Betsy in the bank.
Yes.
And they instantly fall for each other. To the extent that he gets her to either she writes her details down or he writes hers down, but he has to drag.
Yeah, he's the pen is chained to the damn desk and he's dragging it around the place.
Yeah.
And don't forget that he has mom locked up in the vault so they can have a conversation.
Well, that's true.
Right?
He locks the mother up in the vault.
That.
And then he drags. I think the pen gets dragged outside when they make their escape as well.
Yeah, right behind the horse.
That's right.
I mean, who can blame the guy, though? Everyone's wanted to lock their mother-in-law in a bank vault at least once.
Right? Come
That's
on,
right.
man.
Well, there's another great mother-in-law joke later when they're in Boston and they're going to stay with her cousin and the shoe salesman. And I think I've got it here. What was it? I'll find it in a second.
I'm sure you will.
Here. Oh yeah. So Milton Berle says, "Why do we have to harbor a gunman, a robber, and an outlaw?" And she says, "I don't complain when your mother visits."
Right? Yeah. Crazy.
So it's just full of those little one-liners, in San Francisco. I'm pretty sure that looks like it was filmed in New Orleans, but that's that house. But I could be wrong. So, but we first see our we don't know who he is yet, but Bing Bell. I just couldn't get over this Pat Morita. He's speaking with an Indian.
Yeah, and he lights it on fire while he's reading it.
Yeah,
in other words, I don't give a shit. Stop reading it. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one.
Just to follow that up, I mean, the next letter that arrives, it says, "Before you set fire to this letter, look at this picture."
That's right, and it's her as Miss Frontier. Miss Frontier's mentioned a few times, and she won the Miss Frontier contest.
Keeps calling this chick floozy, right?
Yeah, later on, she makes a speech. She makes a speech, Betsy, about everyone should be nice to each other and not fight violence or whatever. And Nelson Stool goes, "Was that your acceptance speech when you won Miss Frontier?" Because that's what they always say. But yeah, this is Floozy or Flossie, but he calls her Floozy. And she's played by Edie Adams, future wife of Ernie Kovacs, in fact, or maybe even at this time. I have a clip of her, not from the movie though, so we're going to try and play that without destroying everything. It is this one, because these guys advertised things in those days that would not be allowed to be shown now, probably. This is Edie Adams advertising cigars.
Muriel, yeah. I remember.
Ear tips.
Yeah.
Here comes a tip on a new small cigar from lovely Edie Adams.
Get the tip, the tobacco, and the taste you want in Muriel Air Tips. Get a flexible holder on each cigar with Muriel Air Tips.
So, as Edie always said, just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
She's interested in. Yep.
Yeah, so she's quite funny. She gets a few lines. She gets to also gets to turn on him later, but
yeah,
because he's not now. If it gets into one of the great scenes where he's joins the card game, a card game that he's not going to lose.
No, he's not going to lose.
So first of all, he forces Snake to take a card. I don't want to take a card. You're taking a card. And then he takes like 8. You know. Like,
yeah. Well, then after they bet, he says, "Okay, now everybody's in."
That's right. You're all in. Should never have taken a card. And then the event inevitable happens. He wins the game, and I think this might be the pivotal moment.
What do you got?
Nothing.
How about you? What do you got?
I got kings with an ace.
I got 3s with a gun.
Well, you win. Hey, he's lucky. He sure is lucky. You're lucky.
He's lucky. He's lucky. I love that. Yeah, so that's. I mean, many people would look at this now and say, "Well, that's kind of cheesy, and lighthearted." But it's a TV movie, not even a PG on TV. It would be like a U. This is the Stubby. He's singing the Stubby finger song.
Yes.
At this point. And then Roy goes to pray. I think it's about Betsy. Stubby index figure. You still got the teddy bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes over to visit Betsy for the first time. It is a love story, after all.
Yes, it is.
It's a romance story. Love. He sends her a love letter through a rock in the window later. A rock through the window. And there's quite an amusing line here because obviously he talks evil all the time. And she says, "Well, Roy, you don't have to always talk evil." And he goes, "Okay." And then he sits there for about a minute because he doesn't know.
Yeah, he can't think of anything to say.
He can't think of nothing to say.
It's too good.
And you look at his face, it's always like that.
Look at him. He's like,
what
yeah.
What was I supposed to do here? And I think this is where they exchange the conversation about people can change. It's oh yeah, I get that. So here it is.
I mean, I want to help people, and well, you want to rob them.
With a little effort, you could change.
You could change. Yeah, that's a good one. Welcome to anyone like Massgrave, Big Dave K, and anyone else who's joined the stream. Thank you for being here. Let's continue with the slides. So, anyway, they get the first kiss. I mean, they're pretty quickly into this.
They're definitely into each other, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. There's another line where she says something like, "Have you never asked people about how when you're robbing them, about how they feel or something. He goes, well, there's too much yelling and screaming going on.
Yeah.
It's a good line.
He's very pragmatic, which is part of why the character is funny, because to him it doesn't seem odd. You know, he doesn't have deep, meaningful conversations with people when he's robbing them. He just has to tell them, give me that and get out.
That's it.
It's kind of, they're kind of on the clock.
Got things to do.
But there's a line, I don't know when he utters it, but he says, you know what nice is? Because they're talking about nice. Suppose there was a whole herd of dead cattle dropped dead on the field just for you. That's what nice is.
Yeah, he was talking to the ravens. That's his friends he had to go see in the desert. Yeah,
that's what nice is.
Old friends.
I love his commitment to evil, but he's not evil. It's a weird form of evil. He's just committed outlaw, basically.
Right.
And that's when he sends the love letter through the rock. He could just go up and knock on the door, And later on, I love the scene where they're defending themselves against the posse in the house there. He closes the window.
Yes, closes the window just to break out the friggin' window pane. That's too awesome, yeah.
Because that's the Western cliche. They smash the window to fire through it.
Right.
Why did you bother closing it?
Right.
Excuse me.
It was in the script.
It was in the script. There's Flossie. I think is this where she says, "I don't want you to leave me alone," because he wants to. I think.
Roy, don't do this to me. I love you. You've got no right to leave me alone.
Maybe you're right. All right, boys, who wants Flossie? I do.
Oh!
It's broad but funny, because he's. Now this whole scene here, and I don't have any clips of it though, but this whole scene is brilliant, where he's talking to his accountant or banker. Yes. And I've actually seen this used in videos. Knocking the. I've gone full screen for some reason. Knocking the Federal Reserve. Because his bankers trying to explain to him. Hang on, will I hide this and get us back? There we go. Like his expenses. So he goes, oh, well, you've had $300 in extra bullets and you've had whatever. He just takes the page and rips it out. Okay, they're gone. And then I says, I want you to write down $50,000 here. So people use this as an example of Federal Reserve and where does money really come from or not come from.
Right. So
it's prime content, political content right there.
Right.
And it's over 50 years old.
That's right. But it's fake money. Hey, guys, we got $50,000 because he wrote it down in the book.
Now, where's my money that's in there? Yeah. I don't have it. What?
Yeah,
hey, right. 70s.
Yeah.
I got to bow out, brother.
Oh, no worries, mate. Anything you want to plug on the way out?
Tomorrow we'll be gaming on Brahma Bull's channel. Probably Party Animals as usual, unless we're short on people, then we'll figure something out. And Friday I'll probably be on Ascendant Art again.
All right. Well, I'll see you there, mate.
Take care, Imp.
Have a great day.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Yep. Bye.
So, I did miss a clip.
Betsy, you might as well forget about that no-account villain. I know his type. You ain't ever gonna hear from him again.
Ah.
Dictated but not read.
Yes.
Because he can't read.
And that shades, there's a scene in Blazing Saddles that reminds me of that.
Very similar. Yeah, there are a few similarities. I mean, there's only so many things you can do, I think, with the Western genre for comedy, but there are some similarities here and there. And this was earlier.
Yes, it was.
This one has some similarities, too, to things like McClintock and a couple of other ones like that, where it has kind of the same feel to it.
Yes, a little bit, yeah. You're right, mate. And so this is where Flossie decides to.
Floozy. I like that name better.
I call her Floozy.
Yeah,
She decides to go over to the other side because she's pissed off at getting rejected by Roy. Quite rightly. Now, this is where he's breaking up the gang and he wants to give them all a present. They're going to do one last raid on the Western and then they're going to break. So he gives them all a signed wanted poster.
Right.
Give that guy too. But there's a bit at the
a plan. By the way, the plan was dictated by the bookkeeper at gunpoint, and then he says, "Okay, boys, you heard my plan. Let's go."
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is where he draws out his philosophy.
Yes.
And what the letters stand for.
Don't forget what I taught you.
Yeah,
yes.
I've got that. Yeah, I've got that clip.
I want you to remember the 5 most important things that I taught you. Sneaking, lying, arrogance, dirtiness, and evilness. Put them all together, and they spell slave.
Yeah, that's right.
Enough warmth.
Enough warmth.
Enough of that shit.
Enough.
That's right. They've had that whole goodbye thing, and he's handed them gifts or whatever. Enough warmth.
And the gifts are autographed wanted posters.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah, and because somebody will give him a second poster because he says, "I've been with you for years. I saved your life," and Roy's going, "I can't remember. I don't remember you." Yeah, they go down to get the stage, and it's packed full of lawmen.
It's clown car packed with
That's
lawmen.
right.
Yes,
it's a lawmen's convention. They've even got midgets. It's a great touch. Again, could you do that now? Post Peter Dinklage, probably not.
No, that'd be people protesting you. Yeah.
But he leaps up there, and I think,
of course, Mom's running the posse, right?
That's right. Betsy's mom's in the posse, Aggie. Yeah. Now this is hilarious because Clifford Stool offers them all $500 to turn on him, and they all take it.
They all take it and start shooting at it.
And Snake isn't going to. He says, "What did I taught you?"
Yeah, well, first they turned it down, and he says, "What did I teach you?"
That's $500.
That's $500. Slaps the shit out of him, and he runs away and starts shooting.
Now pay attention. All we want is evil Roy. My uncle's offering $500 in freedom to any of you who'll turn on your boss.
Don't worry, boss. I'll stick with you. Don't be an idiot. That man's offering you $500. Turn on me. Didn't I ever teach you nothing?
They're all within inches of him and can't hit him with the pistol.
Nobody ever gets shot other than Bing in this.
Right.
No one ever gets hit. It's funny because he's killed 100 people, but you never see anybody getting hit.
You never see anybody get killed.
They're firing away hundreds of bullets, nothing. But yeah, I love that. Didn't you remember what I taught you?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he's going to give himself up, but of course that's not his plan.
No, of course not.
And then this is where the remaining midget, Billy Blanks, tries to wrestle him off the stagecoach. Yep. So, I mean, you got to admit, would you be able to even do this now? A Ridget trying to wrestle a man off a stagecoach?
No.
$500 is $500.
Did our lawyer call you?
Yeah, $10 is $10.
Yeah. So yeah, Billy Curtis here gets to give his speech about I can't even wrangle gophers or
yeah.
I can't wrangle cattle, and there's no call for wrangling gophers.
Gophers, that's it.
I did ride with Billy the Kid on his lap.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But this the small horse.
Oh, of course. Yes.
I mean, as you say, anybody. We said if anyone, a large man on a small horse is always going to be a banger of a movie.
Dude, that's one of the funniest parts of that. I think it's the second Sherlock Holmes movie with RDJ in it, where he gets on that tiny pony because he doesn't want to be on a fully grown horse. He's scared to death of him, right?
Yeah, and there's a line later when he's captured where the guy says, "They caught Evil Roy Slade and half his horse." It's good. I mean, I get it. There's no one's ever going to say it's as good as a Blazing Saddles, but it had a lot more constraints on it because of its TV status.
There he is, lowering the window and then breaking it out.
Right.
And like I said, there was just a lot of stuff they couldn't do in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big Dave K, yes, you did hear Bob and Doug with Giddy. It's the song Take Off on the Bob and Doug Mackenzie album, where Giddy joins them to do a complete song. And it was actually a hit in Canada, a hit single. Take Off, eh? We'll play it one more time.
Did our lawyer call you?
Yeah. I'm, $10 is $10.
Check that song out. It's great. Big Dave's got the album. So yeah, great song. So this is when he finds out that he's been betrayed somewhat. Well, he's shooting out there, and her mother's out there, and he's firing away. Like, don't shoot my mother. And she hands him the Bible. I think it's the Bible, and there's a line in there. I'm sure there's a pretty line. Well, first of all, he says something. Oh yeah, he holds up the Bible, and he says. He shows it to the posse. He goes, "You hear that, boys? Thou shalt not kill." Yeah, and I think doesn't he say something about I've never I learned something today. Never trust a woman or a lonely midget.
Yeah, or a lonely midget. That's it.
It's funny.
They're parading him around town.
So they get the whole parade, yeah. They're going to make... I love the fact that they completely commercialize what is going to be his execution.
Oh, yeah.
So they're all going to take the day off. They're building the scaffold, and the guy's going, yeah, we're bringing the whole family. We got a picnic. And Nelson's still selling tickets, and we're going to have preliminary hangings. It's like a WWE event, you know.
Right?
Which, based, bring it back.
Right, I got tickets for the kids and whatever. Balloons. It's going to be balloons.
Well, back in those days, they did come out for those things. They did.
Yep.
I mean,
they did.
It was a big. It wasn't really a celebration, but a lot of people came out for it. Yeah.
Well, it was the most interesting thing to happen in the last 6 months or more.
Right.
I'm pretty sure this is Courtney's favorite movie of all time.
I love this movie, actually.
Oh,
but I didn't see the very end of it.
Oh.
And I love it because of Betsy. That's my mother's name, and my mother would be the kindness, whatever. So it actually cracks me up.
I like Betsy, though, because Roy tries to have an arc and probably fails in the end. She has a bit of an arc because she gets to become a bit of a badass, and she wears the black gear with the cowboy hat. And then, she kind of meets him halfway, which is nice.
Yeah, she looked hot in that black outfit, man. She did.
A bit around the fire where she's warming her ass. Which is kind of funny. They should have done more with that thing. Well, I love this guy. He's the drunk
judge. Guilty.
That he goes back to sleep. He could be a judge today, I think. That's
right.
Yep.
That could have been me if I was like 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah. There's actually a band. There was a band called Evil Roy Slade.
You're kidding me.
And in fact, I've got the image. I'll show the image at the end of the show, but they made a CD, and Evil Roy Slade. It's an alt rock band. No idea who they are, but I just saw it when I was searching for Evil Roy Slade. This is where he talks about the whole company picnic thing being depressing because he's killed so many of his men.
Right.
30 widows in a sack race. You know, idea
is that depressing. The guy from? Is that the guy from Addams Family?
It is.
Yes.
John Astin is playing Evil Roy Slade.
Yeah, that's Gomez.
Okay,
that's him.
That's Gomez.
That's what I thought. Okay,
that's the OG Gomez. Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is
a dog.
So you've got Clifford. This is what they're going. Hey, you come into the hand tour? Yeah, bring in the whole family. Got a picnic and everything. Yeah. Which is true. It would be entertainment. And they're selling the little evil Roy dolls, and the head comes off.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't kidding. The people came from all over for those hangings back in those days. They did.
Oh, yeah.
All the people from the rural area around the town, they came in to see it. Yeah.
This is funny because he says, the priest's here to see you. He goes, mother, hello, mother, or something. He goes, I'm not a mother, I'm a priest. I'm a priest. Oh, sorry, mother. And he goes, it's father. And he goes, it's that dress keeps putting me off. He's calling him mother. I ain't never seen a priest before. Apparently, I don't think it's him, but John Ritter had a tiny role in this as a priest, or maybe he's in the courtroom at the end or something. I don't know. But there's a couple of minor, like Ed Begley Jr.'s in it. You see him?
Yeah, he is. I recognized.
Yeah, Ed Begley Jr. has a role in the Nelson's talking to Nelson Stool later.
He's got a lot of cameos in movies. That guy does.
But he's busy trying on hats.
Yeah.
Henry Gibson's got. Is that a cock on that hat?
Where for the hanging?
That looked like a cock on that hat. But he has his cunning plan. He won't even untie him for his last meal. I mean, how rotten is that? But he has a cunning plan.
Yes, he does.
Always do. There's some great chats, by the way, and my apologies if I'm not highlighting them all because I'm too busy checking out the slides.
Yeah, John Ritter was the original Jim Carrey. He was great at friggin' slapstick physical comedy, man. He was awesome at it. It really was.
Yeah, thank you for all being out there in the chat and keeping those chats going. Appreciate it. And Vince and Joe are still over in Rumble, chatting away.
You know we do.
Yeah, no, this is where she showed her. She warms her ass up for some. I thought at first she might have done the Amazing Saddles gas scene, but that would have been funny.
No.
Yeah, but she's pretty cool looking in black, Pamela Astin. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Check out the sideburns, man.
Yeah, I know.
The sideburns are awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
This is where she talks about going to Boston to start a new life. Boston,
right?
And he goes to the horse to talk to the horse about what his new name should be. But they all start with evil. He doesn't drop the evil.
He didn't change it to wicked.
No, he just said evil, whatever, and evil John something.
Wicked pisser.
Yeah. But not being dumb people, they realize that the posse might come after them again, so they fool them. And they make
what is it? A bunch of rocks?
Yeah, they just put rocks under there, and so they have for the moment escaped
Boston,
and he makes another entreaty to Bing Bell. Sends Clifford this time.
Yeah.
And Clifford's hat meets the same fate as the letter previously.
Yeah.
I think he shows. Does he show him no, it's late. Is it then he shows him the
like that scene? Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. That looks exactly like Commonwealth Avenue, where my first dorm was in Boston.
Well, it's meant. It could be.
I think it is.
I
think they're like right near the Boston Commons.
So this is the bit where he makes the gag about his mother. I don't complain when your mother comes, because he's complaining about a robber, a thief, and a gunman coming to stay. Now, this is Betsy's cousin.
Yeah.
And of course, as you can see, very different housing, very different. But yeah, they make the mistake of hiding to surprise them. Of course, Roy just shoots the shit out of it, thinks he's being ambushed.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, they're not
shoots up the damn table.
Not too pleased to see them.
She's pouring tea later on. He's catching it with 2 cups.
Yeah. Well, there's bullet holes everywhere.
Yes.
That scene was really hilarious to me because There was one of the guys in my squad when we were coming back from Afghanistan. She got in touch with me and asked if they would want to do a surprise party for his coming home from Afghanistan. We were just like,
don't do
it. That will not go well.
Yeah,
do
right.
not do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So I just pictured that scene essentially in my head of just somebody surprising him and just gunfire.
Courtney, Vince is asking if you're from New England. Vince Womack.
I'm sorry, I had my thing up. I was sharing it out. I'm not. Well, I'm from Philly. I'm born and raised in Philly. However, I went to college and taught in Boston. Well, I taught south of Boston. Yes, and I dated a man from Boston for a long time.
Was it
Wicked
Pope?
Pissa. That is definitely New England. That's
Did
Boston.
you date Pope?
No. Pope, I think I'm old enough to be like Pope's mom, aren't I? I'm just kidding. Pope.
Courtney, don't let him mess with you. My father.
Well, I mean, there is a concept called MILF.
I'm from the two most a-hole towns basically on the East Coast, Philly and Boston. Somehow I'm in Colorado and I offend everybody.
Hey, now we're number 3. New York's number 2.
I was fixing to say New York's number 2 of a-hole towns.
It's
Okay,
a little more PC,
at
though,
least we
and
got the Freedom
look like
Trail
easy
in
going,
Boston.
evil
All
going,
right,
I said.
come on.
That's true, and I enjoyed that trail. It was good when I was.
And I also had siblings in New York, so I all 3 cities. Yeah.
Yeah, Massachusetts drivers are the only ones who are assholes.
Oh God!
No, they are everywhere, but Boston was not set up properly. It was just streets put on top of each other. It wasn't planned. Philly is a grid, Like
well, it was
Boston, they just
planned.
added things.
They laid the streets right over the cow paths.
There you go.
So she's persuading. I love the bit where he pulls his guns here and he rips the pockets off the suit. But anyway, this is when Dom DeLuise and his scientist enters, trying to cure him. When he shows them all the ink blots, and I think
the Rorschach tests, and they're all.
He shows them 500, and they're all his gun.
Yeah, they're all his gun.
Everyone's his gun, and I think I've even got that. I might have that clip.
It's amazing. It's uncanny. In the last 3 days, I have shown you 739 ink blots, and every single one of them has reminded you of your gun.
I think about my gun a lot.
Think about my gun a lot.
Why don't you tell me the first word that comes into your thoughts that's not gun?
Right. And he just sits there.
And then he goes through there. There's an exchange of words and they get worse.
Yeah. Except for bear. When he says bear, he says Teddy. He's like, what? Wait, what?
I like the bit where he says, we're going to use science to cure you. I'm going to use a science called phrenology. And Evil Roy says, what's science?
Yeah, what's
He doesn't even get as far as what's phrenology.
Yeah, what is that?
And this is the only thing he learns to write. See my dollhouse. Which again is a gag later, of course.
Oh man.
There's a few running gags in it, but that's all he can write. But yeah, this is where he does the, think of a word.
Mm-hmm.
But he eventually does make him cry, and I can't remember what it is. It makes him cry.
Yeah. He's telling him to go back to the time. He's trying to get him to cry, and he tells him to go back to the time when nobody was there for him, when he was pinning his own diapers and stuff. Yeah.
This is funny because he tells this guy, he goes up to him, take that big fiddle out from between your legs. There's women here. There's ladies present. I don't want no trouble. You just
that thing under your
chin.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God.
And to his credit, the cello player manages to hit about 6 notes.
Yeah. Not many. But he does hit those.
Possibly the funniest scene in the whole movie, where he gets him to shed his weapons and try and walk without them. Yes. We're going to show the whole scene. I have it.
All right.
I didn't upload it, so I'll have to take it from here. Roy learns to walk without his weapons. This is it, I think.
I can't do it.
You can.
I can't.
You must do it, Roy. This is the ultimate test. I want you to shed your weapons and walk across the room.
I can't. I don't go nowhere without my guns. I even take a bath with my guns.
You don't need them, Roy. Take them off and walk. Oh, Roy, try. Take off your weapons.
This is the physical comedy that's so
I mean,
good.
just oh,
Good.
He's
that
not
everything?
done. No, it's not done.
oh, nowhere near done.
Anything else? Oh, it's a little one, huh? Okay. Is that all?
Now I want to know
No.
where he's got the cannonball tucked. That's what I want to know, man.
Yeah. It's one of those ones
Oh,
with
it's a bomb. Okay.
it's a Looney Tunes bomb, an Acme bomb.
I got no weapons.
Walk! Here! Walk to me! Walk to me, Roy! Walk to me, Roy!
Just can't do it.
Roy!
Okay, I can't do it.
Okay. You can do it! Try again. Try again, Roy. Come on, boy.
And the legs.
Come on! Come on!
It's almost like Courtney dancing. I'm just kidding, Courtney.
I can't do it.
You can do it!
I can't.
Walk to me! Oh! Walk to me, you stinking little coward! Walk! Ooh!
Who are you calling? A coward! Yeah!
Roy!
Roy, you did it. You walked without your guns.
I did.
One more gag,
I
one more
walked
gag.
without my gun.
Oh, Roy!
I knew you could do it. I knew he was one of them funny boys.
See, the funny boys gag goes on through the movie quite a bit.
And I love the voice change.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the funny boys gag would be toxic now, of course. So you
Of
wouldn't-
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Don't
Maybe not as
mess
toxic
with them
as the black-
alphabet people. They'll get you.
Yeah, maybe he's not as toxic as the blacksmith joke, but that's.
Mm-hmm.
As it turns out, that character's the only one of them that can read. So-
Right?
I don't know whether I've forgotten who the actor was that played the blacksmith.
If only there were a way to
If
look
only there was
something
a
up.
way to figure that out.
If there
Oh,
was
here we go.
only a
Ed
way to-
Cambridge.
Ed Cambridge.
Ed Cambridge. Oh, he was George Washington Carver in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Oh,
No way.
Yeah, that's the guy that plays the black gang member in this one.
It was like National Bill and Ted's Day not too long ago. Just
Oh.
a fun fact.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know he was in a lot
I don't
of
know
stuff.
why.
That's the only thing I can particularly remember him from being in, but he was in a lot of shows. Yeah. Anyway. So Ed Cambridge, we salute you.
I
Unfortunately
never
passed away in
understand the tiny
2001.
hats. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, say again?
The tiny hats on women. I'll just never understand it. They're creepy.
Well, they've got tiny heads because they've got tiny brains, Courtney.
Well, yeah. You know.
I'm just
We're all dumb.
But this whole thing where he's trying to fit their shoes on and it's nuts. The open-toed shoes, and he blows the hole at the top.
Yeah. Open-toed shoes. Blam!
And then he hits the
This is
guy's
like Al
foot.
Bundy.
He hits the guy's foot to make it swell so it'll fit the loose shoes. It's
Yeah.
He's never quite going to make this, I don't think. But then the worst thing that can possibly happen after this. Well, he's good. He actually does get her to buy all the shoes.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's macking her up. Remember, you're just beautiful. You're the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. She buys like half the store, and he's like, "You're getting it." He goes, and he just looks so depressed. Yeah, look at him. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go wash my mouth out." Oh,
I think he says things like, "You're prettier than the sun glistening on a rifle barrel."
right? Yeah, he's landing on thick, man. Wow.
Yep.
This is the bit it's all going to go badly wrong. I have the bags with dollars, swag bags.
Yeah.
Like again, Looney Tunes swag bags.
Too much, man.
Yeah. Look at the face. It's like,
Yeah.
oh
You just
my
handed
God.
me all this money.
The sweat.
Look at the face, man. Oh,
that's a good one.
he's shaking. His hands are shaking, pulling that money out.
Yep.
I may have. Sorry, I missed a clip. I needed to play it a little early, so I don't want to be too out of There's the bit where she's talking about him about trying to make him nice because she's after his cure by Dom DeLuise. Betsy's trying to teach him arithmetic and how to write. We saw that bit where he writes Dollhouse, but he also says this famous line.
Now let's try some arithmetic. If you had 6 apples and your neighbor took 3 of them, what would you have?
A dead neighbor and all 6 apples.
I love that. I love that response.
So good. It doesn't even hesitate as well. But like he's staggering in there. Oh God, no.
His math works though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He ends up on the high end, no doubt. Yeah, he's sitting there struggling with the money and steps right on a dude, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny.
Oh my God. Yeah. And here comes the Penny and Marshall cameo.
Penny Marshall, behind there she is.
Yeah.
Laverne.
Yeah. And then director as well later. So
yeah.
This is when he decides, sod it. This isn't the
hell
way for
with
me.
it.
And I admire that. Why should he change?
Right? He's evil Roy Slade, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not Roy Slade. He's evil Roy Slade.
He gleefully robs the bank with another.
No, he doesn't. He said, "Give me my money back."
Yeah, give me my money back.
Give everybody's money.
Hands up.
Hands up, everybody!
Give me my money back. In fact,
Give me everybody's money back!
Roy, I'm so proud of the way you're doing.
Shut up!
In our monologue. But yeah, give me everybody's money back.
That's it.
Well, women do always like the bad boys, so.
They do.
Of course they do.
She really does learn to
Look, he's
accept
stealing shit out the house as he's leaving, too.
Yeah.
It's funny. He's quite a Slade robs bastard rides west. Yeah. He's quite right there. And this gives them once again they've got a chance to take him down.
Yep.
And they make their final entreaty to Bing Bell. Is that the door? There's Ed Begley Jr. Yep.
Yep, there he is.
Yep.
What is he from?
Oh, he's been in a bunch.
He is the
Elsewhere.
cameo master. He's in a bunch. Of stuff.
Okay.
Bunch of stuff over the years. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite one that he was in was Streets of Fire. He's the guy that they run into on the way to Torchies that tells them where what's going on.
Yeah.
Is that the next Mr. Miyagi, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Except he's playing an Indian in this.
Yeah, he's an Indian.
Sure.
I didn't get this far in the movie. I saw
Right.
like
So Bing has rejected every attempt to get him to be involved until he sees the picture
of Betsy.
Betsy
Yeah.
as Miss Frontier.
Yes.
Which
I
is
love it.
kind of cute picture if you think about it.
It is.
So then he decides, okay, I might get involved now.
Yep. So get my hat. Bring me my stuff.
They sprayed him real good.
Yeah.
But I'd forgotten Pat Morita was in this until I rewatched it a few weeks ago.
Get me my hat.
And it brings the guitar.
And the guitar, yes. Yes. Unbelievable.
And then they zoom in and that's why he's called Bing Bell.
Bing Bell. There it is.
Yeah. He's kind of like a Liberace, but slightly less flamboyant.
Look at these guys. They're gambling for peanuts. That's funny.
I thought
That is literally...
or something.
They're literally gambling for peanuts.
Yes.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Yeah. He's back, and this is
He makes he makes the funny guy joke right there too. He's like, "Oh, my guys became funny guys."
So Bing's doing the Gene Autry, Roy Rogers thing, riding through the country, singing to the animals.
Yep.
But he also doesn't just sing.
Bing Bell is my name. Capture crooks is my game. Chaconka dingle conk. Who you looking at? Ow! Woo! Look out! I love to shoot. I love to hoot. I love to sing. I love. Leroy, look out! Look out!
Roy loves his gun, but now Bing is gonna take it away.
I love the little Beach Boys bit at the end.
I like the little puns, like hoot and who. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you find out his gun actually, his guitar fires. It's,
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a really weird character. Dick Shawn was good at that, of course.
I saw that like intro for him, and I was just like, "Damn, Roy Rogers must have sued somebody after this."
You would think so,
Right?
Yeah.
Come on, you're making me look bad, guys. Come on, Floozy.
Yeah.
But she's
Floozy.
impressed with him because he actually calls her
Flossie,
Flossie. Well, everybody else is calling her Floozy. Yep.
But his grand plan is to focus on Betsy.
That's it. Don't tell me how to catch bad guys.
He reminds me of Steve Martin.
He reminds me of Harvey Korman. That's who he reminds me.
Yeah, there's a bit of Harvey.
Well,
It's a cross between
I'm
them.
sorry. When they made him, they broke the mold.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't remind me of anybody except Dick Shawn.
Headley. Not Heady.
It's Headley.
I love it. It's Headley. Headley's not been born yet, or whatever he says.
Yeah. It's 1870. You can sue her.
But look at this outfit.
Costume, I know. It's amazing.
And we're supposed to believe this guy's straight.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
But of course he is.
But
He's
yeah,
not one of those funny boys. No.
He goes on a charm offensive here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to give up his location? I'm retired now. I just want to ramble.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Too much.
Someone's just watched. Penny's just been watching it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Debugger.
great.
Harvey Korman was the greatest actor of all time. Well, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but he's the greatest actor, but he can't hold his character when he's with what's his name? Tim
Conway.
Tim Conway. He
Tim
can't
Nice-
hold his shit together with Tim Conway. And
Nobody could hold their shit
Well, the
together
dental
when
one,
Tim
is that the
Conway went off.
The dentist sketch. Was it?
Yeah.
The dentist sketch, the elephant.
Oh my God.
We're gonna get to that show one of these days. That's
Oh, you got to.
Oh,
Dude.
my
If you're gonna
God.
talk comedy, you got to do Carol Burnett, no doubt.
Oh yes.
I love her. Oh my goodness. I used to watch her with my grandma.
I love that. He's shooting the heads off the daisies. Does she love me? Does she not? Does she love me?
Yeah.
She loves me not. She
This
loves me.
is-
She loves me
point-
not.
This is the point where Smith comes in and says, "Have you seen this? You need to see this in the paper. You got to read it." And I think Roy. Oh yeah,
He doesn't want to read it to him though, and he tries to
Well,
get everybody else to read it, and they can't.
I think this is it.
Hold that. Hey, Evil Roy, I saw something in the paper while I was in town. Thought you ought to see it.
Yeah? What's it say?
But you should read it yourself.
I can't read unless it says, "See my new dollhouse."
That's all he ever learned. Oh, I missed a clip. Hang on, I missed one.
Now he's out there robbing again.
Honey, it never would have worked. The man was rotten. I know rotten. Your lazy paw taught me rotten. May he rest in peace.
Ma, Pa isn't dead. Why do you always say rest in peace?
Wherever your paw is, he's resting.
She's rest in peace. He's not dead.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
But he is
Anyway,
resting.
So they have to come up with their big plan to stop the marriage of Betsy and Bing. Because it's double cross. Everyone's trying to trap.
Oh
it.
yeah, this is insanity right here.
I love the corset.
This is.
Oh my God, I saw that and I was like, holy shit, that girl's gorgeous. Good Lord.
I
Well,
know.
if
I
you,
love
if you
it.
check her out in like the Elvis movie and stuff, she's pretty cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she fills out a nice bikini.
Yep.
Yep.
For 1972 on mainstream television, that's as good as you're going to get.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Peel.
Ah, well, that's British TV. You could do a lot more.
It was shown here.
What, the one where she's in the torture chamber in the gear?
No, that wasn't shown here.
You got to watch that one. Diana Rigg.
I have seen
in
that
the
one. I have
torture
it on.
chamber
I
with
have
the
it.
gear on. Oh, it's cool.
I've got them on home video.
She's got
yeah.
full webbing on, as we say in the military.
Yeah.
So this
Quite the
is,
outfit.
yeah,
They Shanghai the bridesmaids
they do.
and
This-
see outfits.
I was going to show this. I thought I'll just let them. So, come on. I may be pretty blind, but I'm pretty sure.
Come on, man. You can see the beard through the damn veil. Come on.
Right.
And there's a line with two of the women saying, Betsy's pretty, but she sure does have some ugly friends.
Ugly friends. Yeah.
I mean, come on. You can't see it a mile off. So this movie, ahead of its time, cross-dressing.
Yes.
Yep.
Men in drag. Funny boys.
Funny boys. Yeah. There's a mention of that. Yes. It's that line keeps happening. Funny boys. And
is that the nephew? Walking
yes, Clifford Stool.
Yeah, Clifford. Yes.
So, just as the deed is about to be done, the priest reveals himself.
The
preacher reveals himself. And surprise!
That's it.
It's Roy.
It's evil Roy.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
That's a great look. He's got such facial expressions of John Astin.
Yeah, he's got a very charismatic face.
If he should have played Boris in a live action of Boris and Natasha.
He could have.
He would have been good. Yeah.
I like this bit where all the guns come out and they're all comparing how many guns there are.
How many they got?
Yeah. He's trying to count.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Would everybody from the bride's side raise your hand?
He just uses cunning instead of arithmetic.
Yeah. Right.
Again, nobody ever gets shot though.
It's crazy.
That looks so much like Steve Martin to me, or Steve Martin looks like him. I don't know why it reminds me.
Steve Martin can look a little bit like that, yes, when he's doing more flamboyant
some of the
roles.
Expressions, I guess.
So they got to make an exit. Again, nobody's getting shot. I love that. I love that shot there. That's a hell of a flame coming out of that
boom
revolver. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I didn't even.
I'm pretty sure this is this Corporal Klinger and MASH looks like this guy.
I was fixing to say that looks like Jamie Farr, and I know it's not him.
Does look like him. Yeah.
Oh man, here we go. The chase is on.
The heat is on.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a pair of size 13 pumps?
I love this. It just looks so funny. So off they go.
Yep.
This reminds me of Colorado.
Yeah. It might have been filmed in some of those. It was filmed in places that they did some of these famous westerns that it's spoofing. So, but I couldn't find any specific examples of where.
I love his hat, though. His hat is freaking perfect.
It is.
If I was forced to wear a cowboy hat, it'd be something like that.
So this is pretty cool because he threatens the horse.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Over here. He goes, "You get over this. There's a nice Palomino mare waiting for you. If you don't,"
yeah.
As if because if he doesn't get over, he's
Timmy will be. If
everybody
you don't, Timmy will be gluing his stamps on envelopes with you.
That's right. Some boy will be 9-year-old boy will be gluing these stamps with you. But he makes it, and then this lot. This is where there's another funny bit where.
Oh my God.
Urges
500? Is it 500? He says. Any man that can jump it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
$500. Next. Saved $1,000.
That's insane to me. But there are places like I did a hike in Colorado over the they call it the Devil's Causeway, where horses used to ride across back in the day, and it's a little thing with like a drop like that. I'll never do it again. Never.
Yeah, fun fitting sight gags in is not as easy as it looks, Davina, right? And this film's got a lot of those.
Yep.
Because they couldn't do a lot of the. It's a PG or even less. You couldn't do a lot of the verbal humor you'd get in Blazing Saddles. So
the great thing with like this or the wedding scene, it's all just comedic timing. Like that's this era of comedy down to it. It's all in just the physical presence and the timing of everything is just perfect.
Yeah.
What year was it exactly?
72, February 72 it was released. So I got another couple of lines I missed earlier. There was one of the Roy says when he's getting asked to give it all up. I ain't giving up. I've worked hard. It took me years to work my way to the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a Groucho Marx line, right?
It is.
That is.
And then there's another one. This straight life ain't for me. It's too boring. My idea of a 9-to-5 job is 9 men robbing 5 men.
5 men, yeah.
I like when he's on the little horse and he's like, "I'm sorry, I've been dragging my feet getting here."
That's right. I'm dragging my feet. There's another one. Betsy says, "I'm sad there's so much evil in your heart, Roy." And Roy says, "It's in my heart and my hands and in my eyes and a lot in my feet. I love kicking
my feet. I love kicking things." Yeah. There's a lot of sight gags in this movie. I'm gonna have to watch it again just to catch them all.
And then
where he's stealing everything out the Boston house on his way out.
Right.
That's just too damn funny.
Big Sean here has one of the most outrageous extended death scenes.
Oh my God! Come on.
Ever.
Yes.
The hell, man.
And he's singing as he's dying.
Yeah.
One thing he valued more than his guitar was his life, but he still leapt in front of the guitar.
He jumped in front of the guitar. Yep.
It's like they actually I think they stole that from a Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
Death in a cartoon.
There's a lot of that.
That is a cartoon sight gag.
Yeah. There is a lot of that, but this bit where at the end when Roy said, Betsy says, "Is he dead?" And Roy goes, "Well, I think he might have another chorus in him."
That one.
Davina Duckworth, that was a great show. Police Squad was a funny show.
We're definitely going to cover that on Cult Comedy Crew one of these days. It's in the list. It's in the list. And the good thing is there was only 6 episodes, so we can cover it pretty well.
Yeah, it was canceled after half a season.
What a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. But boy, what a movie franchise it spawned, man. Oof.
Oh yeah.
I hear now. Have you guys heard Liam Neeson is going to fill the shoes?
I heard that
in a remake of it.
My question is, who's going to play OJ?
Right?
No.
Didn't OJ get messed up in every episode?
Yeah,
he was like Kenny on South Park, right? He always got housed. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's one more really great gag here where she's fooled them by dressing as, again, there's more cross-dressing going on here.
Mm-hmm.
But she gives them the speech about, well, don't fight violence with violence, Nelson. You got to be nice and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, "Was that your Miss Frontier acceptance speech?"
Right, yeah.
It's quite a cutting thing for awards. She's got the teddy bear. He'll be back. She
looks hot in that outfit,
she
bro.
does look good. It suits her.
Yeah.
And here he is, riding off into the sunset.
He's out of there. What's up?
In a wedding dress.
In a wedding dress. Looking like a funny boy.
Yeah, so that's that was a line, wasn't it, at the end? Something about dressed like a funny boy.
Yeah.
And there it was.
Yeah.
See if we can get this. I gotta hide that. Hang on. There we go. Yeah. So that was Evil Roy Slade. Pretty funny. I'm glad we chose it because it's pretty obscure. We all know
Look, I'd never seen it before.
Movies are always picked as the best comedies and blah blah blah, and they're always most of them are kind of more cutting edge. A lot of savage humor in them. This one's much more gentle, but it still fits in a few things that would be considered toxic today, I think.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Come on, the blacksmith joke.
Blacksmith.
Midgets. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here that they'd be up in arms about, man.
Wait, just in honor of the blacksmith joke, I think we got to show it again.
Yeah, do it.
Boss, some of the horses lost their shoes in that getaway.
Well, get the blacksmith. Smith?
Yeah, I know. Get the horses.
That line is so bad. It's so good.
It's so bad. You could not do that now.
I just had a hysterical mental image. If you brought this back, gave it a theatrical release, Peter Dinklage would be marching back and forth in front of the theater all by himself with a sign.
Right.
Or if you tilted the cameras high enough, they wouldn't see him. So
right,
and all by himself because he's already ostracized his mates.
He's cost everybody else work.
Yeah. As we've covered on a previous episode, you just see 2 priests out front with a sign that says "Down with this sort of thing."
That's right. Down with this sort of thing. And in honor of Peter Dinklage, then.
They even got midgets. Aim for their little hearts.
I love that name for their little hearts. It's a savage line. Savage stuff. It's fun. I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely got its kind of cheesy. It's cheesy. Oh, Andy, you should have joined us, mate.
I know.
Sorry.
I was starting to say that before. but
Andy,
you went to the
you're
clip.
welcome to join any show, mate. I'll try. I'm not sure if you're in the DM group for the invite. I'll get you in it, mate. You're welcome anytime, my friend. You would have had a lot of fun with this. But thanks for being in the chat and watching us, mate. Dressed like one of them funny boys. It's a fun movie, and the people involved. So good.
It's a really interesting period in comedy too, because like you said, the old guard were kind of giving way to the newer generation, but you still had that kind of like vaudeville kind of attitude with like sight gags and stuff like that was still around.
Very much so. There's very few concessions to modern kind of hippie or like MASH and stuff were out by now, and it's a more kind of detailed cutting stuff.
Yep.
Political stuff, whatever. There's very little concessions to that in here. And yet it's dated, but it doesn't seem more dated than 72. It's not like it seems like it's from the 50s, you know.
Yeah,
it's
right.
weird because Gary Marshall was creating shows like Happy Days and so on, and these were the big shows of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they were stuck all in the past, you know. They were making up-to-date shows. I don't know. I didn't see all of that stuff till, well, actually, that's not true. Happy Days I watched when it was out because it was on the UK. And
Everybody watched
and
Happy
I
Days.
do remember all the Lucys and Dick Van Dykes. They showed those in the UK too, but I was pretty young. But at the same time, Monty Python and stuff was out, so this might seem out of place. But at the same time, the people involved are so talented.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't condemn it for being a bit dated. I think it's fun.
No, that's funny.
I mean, the shotgun and the guitar, always a good gag.
Oh my god, man.
That one's great.
But I love it when he pulls the bomb out. That's so Looney Tunes.
I think I posted the right link for people to watch it, but I didn't write what it was in the chat.
Yeah.
I think that's the link to Evil Roy, though.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's free on YouTube. That's where I watch
Yes.
it.
free.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a digital copy, but it is free. It's never in the greatest of quality. It's like the 4:3 aspect ratio or whatever. It's not really. It's never really been updated to super wonderful. I think you can buy it on DVD from Shout Factory. I'm not sure there's a Blu-ray. Anyway, it's a lot of fun and some great people in it. I love it because of the era it's in, the connections to Mad World, Rowan and Martin, all stuff I'd love to talk about in Cult Comedy Crew one day. So, cool. There it was, everybody. Today's Cult Comedy Crew. I hope you all enjoyed it very much. I wanted to mention that D-Bud Martin will be pleased to know that I am being dragged kicking and screaming into doing memberships because he keeps reminding me in messages every few days.
Do it, man.
There will probably be 3 levels. There will be one called The Flock, which will be the lower level.
Oh, no.
I have a video for people who join that one. The middle one will be called Groupies.
Oh,
There you go.
no.
There you go, groupies.
I have a clip for that.
I am not a groupie. I have groupies.
And the top one will be called High Stickers.
High stickers.
That's
Yeah,
Like
the
in
hockey
hockey.
reference.
High
Hockey
Stickers.
reference.
And I've
High
got
sticking.
so I've done all the emojis and all that other stuff and perk level things.
We're supposed
If
to
you
have
were,
emojis of all of our faces.
well, that will eventually happen because the more members you get, the more you can add. So I'm not expecting 500 members, of course, but you know, but there will be for those who join the top level. And I'm going to make a video about this because I plan to launch this at the end of the month. I'm going to make a video about it. The top level ones, the high stickers, you'll probably all get something in the mail. Like, I want to do a CD mixtape and send it to everybody of some of my favorite tracks, amongst some other bits and pieces like stickers. So that will be what you get for being in the highest level. So there will be details released. It's. I don't know if there's any desire for that out there to be a member of mine.
I would love to be a member. Who's buying me a membership?
Well, I'm not. So let's put it that way. I can't afford it because yeah. But anyway, it will support the channel. True, but yeah, I figured a nice little perk is coming up with perks is difficult. Obviously, member only streams and members being allowed to join.
Those are fun.
You can do that stuff. You've got custom emojis and stuff. But really, what you can do for those at the higher level, which I think they said at $14.99 a month. I think it's going to be $2.99. $6.99, $14.99, something like that.
Yeah, you need to put that together, man. Because look, I've got I want to say there's like 4 different YouTubers that I support. Not all of them on YouTube though.
Yes,
Comics Division. I'm on his site now. I originally was on his Subscribe Star.
I do on his site, yeah.
But I'm on his site now. I'm on Wes's Patreon. I'm on Gary's.
I'm on Wes's Patreon.
I think it's Gary's Patreon too. I think.
Yeah, I do a couple of those.
Minefields on Patreon, and then who's the other? Oh yeah, Gary Nerdrotic. I'm on his YouTube channel. Yeah,
I do a few of them. Yeah, it's
I've
important.
got Tina
Yeah,
Smith.
definitely do it, man.
That was from the beginning.
I was one of.
We were
Polly's first.
You were before me. You're right before me.
I used to be at the top level in Poly, but I'm a bit poorer now.
I
so
was
got
too. Now
I got
I'm
to the middle.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't afford it.
No,
I did it with comics just to get into the member stream.
Yeah,
that's what I
Worth
did
it.
a couple of years ago, just
So
to
I'll
get
be
into
doing-
member streams.
So members will get things like member streams, and I will do different little videos for them, possibly showing off some stuff here that I wouldn't necessarily make a video about, but I'll do it for them, So that's probably happening once I've done this launch video to promote it at the end of the month. In terms of shows coming up, I'll do 2 more shows on Mondays. Then I'm going to take a Monday off, first Monday in August, because there's a lot of stuff happening in town here I want to go to. It's big rodeo stampede in town for the weekend, that weekend. So I'm going to be going out and watching Steers and Beers. You thought I was going to say something else.
The
there.
last town I lived in had the rodeo. I used to go a lot.
So there's that and some concerts and stuff. So I'm going to be partaking fully in that.
Never
So
pegged you for a rodeo guy. That's cool, man.
I love.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a real Stetson. Real.
I will never wear a cowboy hat. I'll go to a rodeo,
will.
but I'm not ever wearing a cowboy
Well,
hat.
I'm
I'm a
a
rock and roller. I don't wear cowboy shit. Sorry.
I have
big
I
into
have a white cowboy hat.
I don't
but
kick shit. I wore biker boots before I wore cowboy
Rodeos
boots.
are
okay?
a lot of fun, trust me. And there's all
I
sorts of
wear biker
other
boots,
events
too.
around them, chuck wagon
Yeah.
stuff, ton of beer, country
You know-
concerts.
You know what? The black rodeo, when it comes here, I have got an arena right across the railroad tracks from our neighborhood. It's one of those ones that at max will hold 5,000, 6,000 people, right? But that place is packed when the black rodeo comes here. Packed, I'm telling you. I mean, it's
They're
crazy.
fun. Rodeos
Yeah.
are big fun, and I can walk to the one in town here.
Mhm.
So it's like a 5-minute walk there and back. So it's well worth
Yeah.
exploiting. I couldn't last year because I couldn't walk because of my back, but this year I'm going to hit that hard. But so next week's show, just for everybody, I'm thinking next Monday I want to do a show. Does anybody know the movie Backbeat? Backbeat about the Beatles in Hamburg.
No.
Fictional movie, Stephen Dorff, and various others. So I'm going to do a movie about Backbeat and the Beatles in Hamburg. If you've never seen Backbeat, go watch it. As I say, it stars Stephen Dorff. Hang on.
What about quadrophenia? Would people be interested in that?
One at a time. One movie at a time.
I was with the music movies. I'm like, I was so excited about Rock and Roll High School.
Dude, we have to do the rest of their albums first before we get to Quadrophenia.
Yeah, we've still got round 2 in the Who to do. So
It's only been,
Backbeat.
what, 2 years?
So the movie because this will be movies and music then. So the movie Backbeat, starring Stephen Dorff, Cheryl Lee. The guy that plays John Lennon in it is my mind has just gone a blank. Is Ian Hart, great English actor. Ian Hart plays John Lennon, and it's about Stuart Sutcliffe and the Beatles in Hamburg.
Wow.
Great movie. Music's done by guys like Dave Pirner and all these other grunge guys.
I may be an idiot, but tell me who Stuart Sutcliffe is.
He was the bassist in the Beatles.
Okay.
In Hamburg. He was a friend of John Lennon's. He played bass in the Beatles for a couple of years until he tragically passed.
I am not huge on their lore. I like their music. I'm just not big on their lore.
And he was an artist. He didn't really want to be in the band, but he was artist. So we'll talk about all of it in the show. This is a great.
The only one I know is Pete Best, I think.
He was in the band,
right?
and he was in the band at this time. So the music's done by people like Dave Grohl, Dave Pirner, Mike Mills.
Nice.
So I want to talk about this movie, and I want to talk about the Beatles in Hamburg when they were real rock and roll animals, not in the suits with the She Loves You. This is when they were playing 12-hour sets in the Reaper band, playing rock and roll shit.
Wearing
leather.
Wearing leather, yeah.
So I want to talk about, and there are recordings, so I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about this movie. So that's next week's show.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to watch
And
it.
then the week after, I'm planning a Canon Film Club on King Solomon's Mines.
Wow. Richard Chamberlain, the king of
Yeah.
the miniseries back in the
that's-
70s and 80s. Yeah.
That's the next two planned shows, and then there'll be a week off, and then we'll
Is
see
the
what.
Queen of Sheba in it?
I can't remember.
Dude, it's been so long since I saw
don't
those
think so.
things. He made like 2 of them, didn't he? I
He
think
made two.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Alan Quatermain and the something or other.
Yeah.
So that's the next two potential shows. And there will be other stuff. I'm working on a very extensive video. It's taking me forever to edit on the band Stackridge, which is an English progressive rock band from the 70s, who then became the Corgis, who had a few hits in the early 80s. You might remember Everyone's Got to Learn Sometime. Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime. That was the Corgis. And also I've been put in touch with one of the founders of that band. So I'm going to work on doing a show with him. For me, it's very interesting. For you guys, I don't know.
Sitting
Anyway.
Nancy, Suburbia. These are movies I'm putting out there.
So, well, you can put them out there, but all that will happen now is they go on a list. So
I need all
That's
my
it.
punk rock supporters. Come on.
Well, I have a couple of
Go for
ideas there
punk
too.
rock.
But, anyway, so that's me. Joe, what are you up to, mate?
Oh man, you can go to my page and find out the times for everything. The next time you'll see me on my channel, it'll be at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. First Papa Joe Gamer after dark of the week. I'll be playing Star Trek Online. Watch me mess up space battles and using phasers, shooting myself in the foot, that kind of thing, as I have a cocktail or two and have fun. As far as off-channel stuff, of course, I'll be here for Backbeat whenever you do that. And Military Monday, I'll be on for The Great Escape, I think, next Monday. And if you didn't see the one for Escape from New York this morning, we went for 2.5 hours talking about Escape from New York. We had a ball with that one this morning.
You're going to have me humming the theme to The Great Escape for the rest of the day now.
There you go, man. Yep.
Me too.
But thanks for having me, man. I love being here and looking forward to the next one, man.
Thanks for being here, brother, as always. Pope, what's happening, man?
Well, as per usual, although it didn't happen this Saturday because I fell asleep. We do Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. We do Midnight Mass, which is basically a little 2-hour radio show, kind of like the late night shows we used to have on rock radio back in the day, where it's a whole bunch of stuff I'm listening to, stuff we're talking about on various shows I'm on. I'll throw some of those in there. I even threw one of Joe's Brothers songs on there because I actually dig the album, man.
Yes.
So,
he's about to drop another one, buddy. He's creating like crazy. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Yep.
And then other various rock and metal songs that either you guys suggest or I just find across the internet somewhere. But hopefully you guys will join us for that. And hopefully I'll have another Rock and Roll Religion coming out here soon.
Hope so, mate. Hope so. Thanks for being here, brother.
Pope is the
Appreciate
guy
it.
with the coolest avatar on YouTube. That is badass.
Courtney,
Hi.
we always like
I
to
wasn't expecting that.
we like to look at you. I do love your black and white linoleum floor.
Yeah, the checkerboard floor
That would
kicks ass.
just
It's not linoleum. They're actually carpets.
Oh, is it tiling?
But, no, they're carpets. But and then
Oh, it's carpet.
my bedroom
That's a
has
carpet?
It would
closet doors that are all all mirrors, so it looks like it's.
Just don't take any psychedelics when you're walking on that.
I mean, never.
I was a big Spicoli fan as a kid. I had Vans that
Me
looked
too.
like that.
Me too. Well, since middle school, I rocked checkered Vans forever. I have like every color of them. Well, I used to.
So what you up to, lass?
The same old, pretty much. I'm just hanging with my dog this week, but I have some ideas. I'm trying to get my channel kind of back up and running, but I've been out a little bit because of some health stuff. But I'm still on Sunday Night Geekery on Mark D with the C's channel.
Yes,
and I'll be here with you. So
cool.
And I'm randomly all over. Anytime someone has a music thing, they usually ask me. So just look at X and I post them there.
Well, I always appreciate you being here very much, Courtney. Thank
you. I like to be here. It's fun.
We like you being here. It's groovy, man. Last but not least, our great friend, just another red shirt. What's happening with you, my friend?
Well, the show that I'm on regularly, Toxic Tuesdays, is still on hiatus for about 3 more weeks. So I don't know when I'm going to be on because I go on when the invite arrives, and you guys will know when I'm on a stream shortly after I find out. It's usually, and it's probably going to be something esoteric like evil Roy Slade.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know, but well, maybe something with there's at least one other YouTuber that's given me essentially a permanent invite. I got to see what they're going to be doing over the next few days and this week.
You're not in my State of the Atmosphere thread?
I am in that.
I was
I
fixing
am
to say,
in that.
you're always invited there, buddy.
I know.
Well,
So
it's
we'll
great to have you here, my friend. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, when I see him, what I miss is the one you guys used to do on Friday night, the Cocktail Lounge. I love that show, man.
We all missed
terribly.
that. Yeah, it was a great show. Just before I go, this was the Beatles in Hamburg.
Oh, I love how they look that way.
Pete Best, George Harrison, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Stu Sutcliffe. Very different from what they became, of course. Not that I'm against what they became, but this was pure rock and roll. So, anyway, just thought I'd share that. So that's what we'll be talking about next week.
Quick ass.
Yeah, anyway, thank you everyone over in Rumble that's watched and chatted. Thank you everyone on YouTube that's been in the chat, and you've made some wonderful comments and said some great stuff, and I love you all very much. Thank
Christian
you
threw you money.
Yeah, Christian threw me money. I need it. I might be able to eat for one meal.
I think we're all there.
That's right. We will see you all next week. As I say, thank you to all. Stay well. Keep on rocking, and like evil Roy Slade, just keep on being bad. Okay. Bye, y'all. Play outro and end stream, as it says.